Okay, so jump, jump, slightly longer jump but not with a hover, then it's the hover jump, then over the purple slime guy, then over the purple spiky guy, then up onto the platform over that flower guy who shoots out the other purple spiky guys, and then I should be able to... Hello, you've caught me preparing mentally how to take on Astro Bot's toughest levels. You know the ones, the stages built from giant PlayStation symbols. For years, the X, triangle, square and circle have been my closest allies, now turned my cruelest tormentors. They take all the playful ideas that tickled me in the main levels and crush them into perfectly formed diamonds of challenge. Team Asobi calls them the Lost Void levels. I call them the reason I don't currently have the Platinum Trophy. Made all the more irritating by the fact Rosie can literally do them all in her sleep. I'll conquer Astro Bot in the end, because if there's one skill that defines every platforming fan, it's perseverance. To quote Alfred in Batman Begins, "Why do we fall down those holes in Crash Bandicoot? So we can learn to reload our save and try jumping over them the second time." But that isn't the only thing platforming obsessives have in common. There are all manner of tricks and behaviours we've amassed over the years. So, warm up those calves and hamstrings, prepare to collect 1,000 shiny crystals, because here are 7 platforming habits no gamer can resist. Entry number 1, trying to go where no man has gone before, or where no bandicoot has gone before, or robot, or dragon, or whatever Jack is. An elf? Is he an elf? Anyway, I'm talking about how platforming fans always try to jump to scenery just out of reach, or those ledges you spy high up in the sky that make you wonder, what would it take to throw my little man or bandicoot or robot or dragon or elf, yes, we're going with elf, all the way up there. It's the same impulse that took humanity over the sea, then to the skies, then to the stars. The only difference being, when we got there, we didn't find any giant gold shiny coins. Or if we did, Neil Armstrong kept very quiet about it and pocketed them all himself. Once I've seen that out-of-reach scenery, I'm not carrying on in a level until I've climbed up and planted a flag in the name of Rob Kind. Is there scenery I can hijack as an impromptu staircase? I'm on it. Is there an ability that takes me beyond the natural bounds of the level? I'm exploiting it. I am the level designer's worst nightmare. Fearless and acrobatic. The platforming equivalent of a new kitten. You think I'm not getting down the back of the fridge by jumping from the bread bin to the cooker hood? Well, you forget. I've got 9 lives and I'm ready to burn them. But the best moment, and it's something Astro Bot does brilliantly, is when you finally haul your way up that scenery or land on that distant pixel and find a collectible waiting for you. Just the level designer's way of saying, I knew you couldn't resist, but I got here first. Still, have a coin for the effort. It's one small step for a level designer, one giant leap, and another giant leap, and then a third giant leap with some laser legs, and then a small spin dash for mankind. Habit number 2 is a similarly obsessive bit of behaviour. I will not move on to the next stage of a platformer until I've grabbed 100% of the collectibles in the stage I'm on. I'm talking every lum, every jigsaw piece, every precursor orb, every gem, relic and crystal. Oh, and every dragon egg in Spyro. Though that's not actually for the completionism, I just really cannot stand the noise those thieves make. Where does this completionist urge come from? Nowadays, there are trophies for collecting everything, but I was stripping levels clean long before there was a platinum twinkle in PlayStation's eye. I wonder if it's guilt. Can I really push on and have fun in the next Rayman stage, knowing that a teensy is crying its eyes out behind bars? Or perhaps it's the act of tidying up a level that does it, a hangover from having to keep a clean bedroom as a child.
Robert! This place is a pigsty! Put down the Buster Sword and pick up the Duster Sword!
Whatever the reason, here I am in 2024, hitting every last enemy, bush and fence post, terrified of missing a gold coin, or reaching for the restart button the moment Astro Bot's dual speeder tears past a jigsaw piece that only appears in the intro to a level for 1 millisecond. Yes, Team Asobi can see the 100%ers a mile off. We're dancing in the palm of their hand. This thinking has even begun to infect my non-gaming life. For instance, I cannot bring myself to eat my pudding until I have completed 100% of my sandwich. And apparently, I've only finished 99% of this, which means there must be a crumb in here somewhere I am missing. And I can't find it. And I just want to eat my whispered gold. Have you ever wondered why 2D platforming heroes always run from left to right? Some people think it's because many cultures in the world read from left to right, so it feels natural. Some psychologists believe the brain perceives movement to the right as more positive. It suggests speed, advancement, improvement. Which is why I feel very uncomfortable with Delsin being on the right-hand side of the frame, because there is nothing positive or improved about him. But ask any platforming fan and they will beg you to resist that psychological pull. Because habit number 3, you've always got to run backwards at the start of the level, because the space on the left is prime real estate for secrets. Level designers are so sure you're going to go tearing off like a sheep that they often squirrel the sneakiest prizes just behind the starting line. Hit the brakes and tilt the analog stick in the opposite direction and you'll often be pleasantly surprised. So there might be a Delsin on the right-hand side of the frame, but if we move over to the left, we will discover another bigger Delsin. This is the worst day of my life. An item you might find if you run to the left, an extra life, and you are going to cherish that thing because platformers take no prisoners. Yes, they are painted in child-friendly colours and welcome you in with cheery mascots. But remember, you can't spell masochist without mascot, and these games will chew you up and spit you out. Even Rosie, an extraordinarily capable gamer, can be pushed to her limits by platformers. Very good. You don't make noises like that unless you absolutely have to. Our 4th habit helps counter that, farming for extra lives. The ancient art of finding a level with an easy supply of 1-ups and then repeating it again and again until you've built up a safety net so thick that even stormy ascent becomes doable. And so it is, you run laps of Spyro, incinerating terrified sheep the moment they respawn. Spyro's not even that hard, which makes this extra morally dubious. Or you use that sneaky trick where you load your Crash Bandicoot autosave to repopulate the 1-ups, turning Insanity Beach into the fountain of eternal youth. A trick I definitely didn't use to get the trophy for amassing 99 lives. Please don't check the CCTV footage, you've just got to trust me on this one. Is it bad sportsmanship to farm lives? I'd say it's bad sportsmanship to create levels like Stormy Ascent. You know, can farming lives be that bad if it earns a reaction like this? Our 5th platforming habit is doing absolutely nothing. You just put down your controller and wait. And right on cue, it's an idle animation, aka the most bang for your buck in gaming. You don't even have to press a button and something interesting is happening on screen. This is low effort perfection. Why can't all games be this hands-off and easy? You know, I'd have about 1 million platinum trophies by now. Yes, you get idle animations in all genres, but it's something I'll always associate with platforming mascots. When you leave the character for a moment and those little animation flourishes kick in, it's a sign of animators going above and beyond. Did Team Asobi need to make Astro Bot draw the PlayStation symbols in the sand? Probably not, but it didn't stop me downloading a clip so I can watch it on my phone every 10 minutes. Cute. In fact, Astro Bot is a bit of an idle animation masterclass. Leave the little guy alone for a moment and he blows into memory cards, whips out his PlayStation Vita, does his best bathtub Geralt impression, gets hot in hot levels and cold in cold ones. He even has a bespoke searching animation if the stage still has a bot hidden in it. In fact, I am such a fan of idle animations that I've even developed one of my own. Just don't touch any YouTube controls just for a second. It's coming. I didn't say it'd be any good. Next up, speedrunning. You know that level you only just managed to squeak through? Well, what happens if you do it twice as fast? I'll tell you what happens. You quickly get used to the sight of Crash ascending to the heavenly realm, or Astro Bot descending into the hellish abyss in Astro's playroom. Everything's more dangerous at speed. Making a sandwich becomes a game of five-finger fillet, and platforming becomes a nerve-shredding test of guts. But we still love it. Habit 6 then is becoming obsessed with time trial modes. You should have seen the mania that gripped PlayStation Access when Network Speedrun first came to Astro's playroom. Every spare minute of the day became about shaving milliseconds off our runs, using hover jumps and spin dashes to squeeze extra inches out of every leap, occasionally discovering a new shortcut that shaved half a second off the timer and completely rewrote the office leaderboards. It also gave us this magic moment.
I am aware of the situation. It's been a long time. This is why I didn't want to do Frozen Run, because this me is back.
Yes, everything is more dangerous at twice the speed, not least of all Rosie. For our final platforming habit, I'm going with what I call face controls. That is, the way some players contort their features in a desperate attempt to eke more platforming performance from the character on screen. It's not something everyone does. Some people adopt the patented Rob Pearson death stare of concentration, but more emotive players allow every move to play out across their visage. On the most basic level, you've got jumping nods, the little darts of the head you think are going to help nudge your character over the gaps. Although I've checked the PlayStation 5 documentation twice now, and there is no mention of telekinesis functionality. Another favourite, raising eyebrows during a long jump. You're literally trying to make those hairy caterpillars do a jump on your face. Or how about the long ooh, the shape your mouth makes during tense bits, presumably to regulate your breathing and prevent your frightened lungs from inhaling all the oxygen in the room in one big gulp until you've made it through a deadly bird onslaught. I'm also fond of the human metronome, when the head bops to count the rhythm of moving platforms. And finally, there's the collectible gobble, when Astro Bot collects a jigsaw piece and you eat a real-life jigsaw piece to celebrate. No, I just made that one up. If I now check my stats screen, I can see that yes, that's 100% of this list complete. All 7 things well and truly thinged, which, as we know from point number 2, means I can finally move on to the next level. That's next week's list. Your completion rate is at 99% until you click the like button and leave a comment below. How many of these habits do you have? Oh, and subscribe and hit the notification bell. That is 101% completion. And I'll see you again next Friday at 4 p.m. Thanks for watching.